Welcome to the Canoga Park Youth Arts Center's new series, World Art, where each class we will go to a different part of the world and learn about the art of their culture or their architecture or the art that they make there. Today we are going to India and we are going to learn about henna tattoos. Now they're not real tattoos, they're temporary tattoos, and they're made from the root of the henna plant into a muddy paste, and it stains the skin. Now this has been happening for over 5,000 years. Originally, it was used just to cool people off in hot climates like Africa and India, Pakistan, and the Middle East. They would put the henna on the palms of their hands and on the soles of their feet. You can see animals doing it too to try to cool down. Like elephants and pigs, they do the same thing. And then they realized that it stained, and then they started using it for decorative purposes. So let me show you what we're going to be doing today. Now, henna tattoos are normally done on hands, and they're done for special occasions like weddings or birthdays or gathering of loved ones. So we're going to be doing our own, and then I have a super special surprise for you guys afterwards on something else that we can do with this. But let's take a look at some henna tattoos. This picture shows the process. There's henna in the form of mud in this little squirty thing, and do you see? It's leaving like a little trail behind it. And after it sets for a little while, they're going to wash it off. Some cultures believe that the darker the henna is, the more the people in love will be who are getting it for their wedding. When we go down here, this woman is getting married. This is her wedding dress. She not only did her hands, but she also did her feet as well. So you can see this is a big part of getting married, where they have their henna tattoos done. Culturally, it's the same thing as putting your dress on. It's a really big part of it. Now, not all wedding dresses are white. In some cultures, wedding dresses can be different. This is a bride. So you can see she's dressed in a very different way, and even though that tattoo is faint, you can still kind of see how she's got her wedding day henna tattoos in place. Let's take a look at where India actually is. Here's where India is. India is considered an Asian nation, and it's bordered by China, Pakistan, Afghanistan, around, so you can kind of see it's a really big country, and it's got a very wide range of environments in it as well. Let's take a look at another tattoo. Here this woman has done her hands, and it goes all the way up. Now different symbols like flowers, hearts, patterns are used. And you can see they're the same, right? What's on this hand is on that hand. So when we do ours, we have to keep that in mind. Whatever you do on one hand, you have to do on the other. That's called symmetry. And here's our last picture of a henna tattoo. You can see it's a little bit darker. Some plants are more red, some plants get more dark brown. But you can see she's done her fingertips here. And you can either do the top part of your hand or you can do the palm part of your hand. Some people do both. All right, we're going to start our own henna tattoo drawings now. And the first part is really fun. You're going to put your hand on your paper. You're going to take your pencil and you are going to trace around your fingers. It kind of feels like it's tickling me as I go around. It doesn't have to be exact. It comes down here and goes down to my wrist. Now here's the hard part. See, I'm left-handed. Most people are right-handed. So now I have to draw this hand with the hand that I'm not accustomed to drawing with. So I got a feeling this hand's going to look a little different than the other. Go around and around and around and back down this side. I'm going to just finish up my wrist here. I'm going to put a little end on my wrist like that. All right. What's cool about this is now you actually have your handprints, and if you're young, then you have a permanent record of how big your hands once were. Now it's time to decorate. So I'm just going to start by putting a heart, because so much of henna tattoo is about love. But remember, I got to put one on this side too, right? So now the rest of our project is really just going to be about filling in the spaces. I'm going to put some little bands there, patterns, patterns, patterns. Remember, a pattern is a repeating shape. Maybe I can put another line inside my heart here. I'm only going to do one of these hands. I don't need to do two. You guys know that they got to look alike. I'm going to put some lines around my heart because it's radiating love. There we go. Now, I'm going to go up to my fingers. Let's draw some fingernails in there. And if you look at your own fingernails, you'll see they're round on the top and kind of flat on the bottom. I need my thumbnail. There we go. Now I'm going to put little vines growing up my fingers. So first I'm doing a little squiggly line down all 4 of my fingers and my thumb, and then I start adding leaves. Leaf, leaf, leaf. I'm just going to go through and add leaves to all of my fingers. Henna tattoos look best when they got a lot of lines going on. So you don't want it to look empty. You want it to look filled up with patterns. And how you do those patterns are completely up to you. And you don't have to do both hands. You could always just do a drawing that has one hand on it. All right, so now I see I have some extra space. I'm going to fill, I'm a fan of spirals, so I'm going to fill up some of this space with spirals, kind of like where my knuckles would be, huh? All right, I got some room down here. Maybe I can put some, let's see, I'm going to put some circles down here. And I'm going to put some circles coming up this side. And maybe I can put a little dot inside of those circles. There we go. And let's see, maybe I can put a flower inside of my heart. There we go. Whoops. Let's see, what else can we put in? I'm going to put a little flower down here too, and maybe some leaves coming off. Here's some leaves inside of my flower. Here's my leaves. Put some leaves on this side. And we just keep going and going and going until the whole thing is filled up. Let's draw this outline a little bit darker so you guys can see my actual hand. There we go. Now remember, a real tattoo, they put ink under your skin and it is permanent. But a henna tattoo is fun because it just washes off after a few days. People also use henna to dye their hair and fabric with too. There we go. There's my one hand, and I'll finish that other one later. As promised, I have a really special project, and you guys can do this with anything you want. It starts with a very unsuspecting object. I know you guys have seen these before, right? Can't finish your meal? Throw it in the box, take it home for later. This is a very valuable art supply. I'm going to show you what. So first, you're going to cut it in half, so you just have this nice flat area in here. And then I cut out a square, and I drew my hand, and I drew all the patterns in. And if you could feel this, if we had some way for you to touch this from through the camera, you would feel that there's little indentations. It's best if you use a dull pencil, and it pushes into the styrofoam, and it leaves a line that you can feel, kind of like Braille, what people who are blind use to read. I can almost feel what my patterns are. So you're probably looking at this saying, what is she talking about? I'll show you. This is our end product. We're making a print. A print is something you can do over and over and over again, and this is our print plate. But how do we get this to look like that? It's very simple. Are you following along? All right now, henna is brown, so I have some brown markers here. I want to make sure that I've got enough juice in my markers, so I grab 2. So I'm coloring in my hand. Take my time. I'm going to color all around my hand. Making sure that I get all the different spots. Color, 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 color. I go all the way down. And I just want to make sure I have enough marker ink on this. Let's see if this guy's got any more juice. Got a little bit more juice in him. All right. So now I have my colored in hand. Are you ready for the magic trick? All you need is a little bit of water and a paper towel. So I got a little bit of water in here. I'm going to dip my paper towel in it. I don't want it soaking wet. It just needs to be damp. Okay? So I squeeze out some of the water. You got to be a little quick with this, okay? So now I'm going to make my paper wet. Not soaking wet, just wet. I hurriedly pick up my print. I put it down on the wet paper. Part of why I like printmaking so much is because you never know what you're going to get. Sometimes it comes out exactly the way you want, and sometimes you don't know. All right, so I've pressed all this. Now comes the peel and reveal, and I don't even know what it's going to look like. Are you ready? There you go. So what's happened is the water on the paper dissolved the ink and drew it onto the paper. Look at my print plate. It doesn't have any more ink on it anymore, just a little bit from the water. It all went onto the paper. Now what's cool about this is that I can do this again and again and again and again. So if you're ever wondering what to do with a to-go container, not only can you recycle it and repurpose it, you can make some art out of it too. And I'm pretty sure you guys have these things laying around. Everyone gets these, and you all have markers, and I know you all have water. So I hope you try this super cool project. You can do it with anything you want. Thank you for joining us on our trip to India today. I hope you enjoyed our lesson on henna tattoos. We'll see you again for another country. Thank you so much.